Nintendo is dabbling in VR, and what other game could be more awesome than Smash Brothers in VR? Block content. What's happening, my Block buddies, and welcome to a brand new episode of Block Content. My name is Callum, and this is going to be your content for today. Nintendo is doing a great job with the Labo kits. I mean, just look at what they're doing with Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild. They're adding VR support to those games, and of course, if you know Nintendo, it's been a little bit of a rough patch with VR. They, of course, did the Virtual Boy, and that was not a big success, was a big flop, and actually Nintendo's really only gigantic flop, right, throughout their history. And of course, there's been some Easter eggs within Nintendo Labo that kind of talk about the Virtual Boy, but if you think about games like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey getting VR support, I would say there's one big game in that, list that is really missing. And a lot of people have always thought, what would kind of be the right way to bring Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or Super Smash Bros. As a franchise to VR? And I've got sort of an answer for you guys. So for those of you guys who like giveaways, we are giving away a Piranha Plant plushie. Remember to like this video, subscribe to Block Content, and comment down below to enter for the giveaway at 50k. And we're going really, really fast. Thank you guys so much for watching. We are heading back into the VR goodness. So I love the way that Smash Bros. Works, all these different modes, and we used to have all these different ways to play, right? We used to have target smash, import the platforms. All those things are not present in the new Super Smash Bros. Ultimate game. We are probably getting some new stuff, the stage builder stuff we love, but I feel like there are some modes missing. If Super Smash Bros. Ultimate or a game in the future is gonna add stuff like VR support, I feel like it would not be seeing your own character in first-person view and having to be Mario and kind of see his fists punching out and having a first-person experience in the Smash stage. That would not work for the franchise at all. I feel like if anything, I feel the game would fit well in a 3D space where it's like a 3D adventure game, but I would not say that the game would work at all well in a first-person view. I feel like the only character that would really fit well with would be Samus, and that's not something that I would really want in a Smash Brothers game. All these varying styles, so if you play as Mario, you just play 2D, and if you play as a character like Star Fox, you would just be in a space cockpit. That makes no sense to me. I feel like if we're gonna bring VR to a franchise like Smash Brothers, they're gonna do what they're gonna do great, and that is, of course, giving you a whole lot more options and a whole lot more game styles. So think about a game mode where you basically collect trophies or collect stickers or collect spirits that is like a VR minigame. So we all love the tiny minigames that are in Smash Brothers games, the lottery minigame, and in Brawl we of course had the coin launcher. We had all these tiny things, that were really adding to the experience and gave you a new play style. I think that a VR game would be really great to give you a different play style. So get this idea, right? You're playing classic mode and you're bashing through the level, playing as your favorite character, and you already have the VR set on. So you can kind of use your head to view the stage and to, keep attention on things that you want, simply just as the Breath of the Wild game would be doing, and of course as the Mario Odyssey VR would be working. So that's just very, very the same. The viewpoint would still be 2.5D, just like you're very, accustomed to with Smash Brothers. However, what I think would be really awesome would be the way that we would break through these games and break through the battles and say, okay, now it's catch the spirit or something like that. And you would have a game mode where you can reach out to kind of, with your Joy-Cons, find these special spirits that are flying through the air. Maybe some spirits fire lasers back and you have to deflect them. Maybe even move away your head to kind of dodge the incoming fire. So maybe it would be very similar to Coin Launcher, but it would be spirits fighting back. These evil spirits trying to kind of catch you. And maybe you have a gun very similar to the Spirit Board game mode, where you would just fire away and try and catch them and break their shields. And maybe it would cost a few coins to do this game mode, because I think that would up the ante for the VR game. So it would be like this kind of VR first-person shooter game, but you would shoot, of course, with that blaster from the Spirit Board game. And to have all these different cute, spirits fly in, but then shoot lasers at you that you have to dodge, I think would be really cool. It would be kind of like the Space Pirate Simulator game, where the time would even slow down in slow motion, and you would have just the time to kind of dodge your head around a laser, so you can then shoot back and collect that spirit for yourself. And you would would see, very big at the end of your run. Maybe you have 1 minute to kind of, shoot some spirits, and then the mode would end and saying, yeah, you've collected all these spirits, congratulations, great job. And of course, I know the idea of collecting spirits is mostly about fighting the spirit battles, but in this way, it would be a different kind of spirit battle. So maybe there would just be, these spirits that you can catch specifically in this mode. So they would be VR only spirits. That would be a way to go about it. I feel like there's also a way to make a very cool VR style break the targets kind of game, maybe where you'd have a super scope or something like that, and there are just targets all around you, and you can turn around, look to the sky, and there are so many of these targets hidden around, so they wouldn't even have to make like target smash, different game mode, but it would just be a VR kind of target smash where your character is equipped with a super scope, and you can even charge them and shoot them. That would make the lasers go even faster, so you can more precisely hit your opponent or hit your target. I feel like that would be a great way to dive into VR with Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, in terms of the future, there are so many things that are uncertain for the Smash Bros. Franchise, because if we're talking about Smash in the future, everybody has the same idea, right? Smash Bros. Will probably never have a roster that's quite like the roster we have right now in Smash Bros. Ultimate. Never again will everybody rejoin the fight. And of course, call me on it when it's happened and it, all comes back to us again. But I feel like there are certain deals that Sakurai has made with the devil this time around that is just never coming back to that golden age where we were in when we had Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with all these fighters. Ryu, Mega Man, Mario, Sonic, Snake, all those characters coming back. I think that'll never happen again. But what I do think will happen is that we get a lot more streamlined Super Smash experience. We get a whole lot less characters, but we probably get some new moves, we probably get some new mechanics, and we kind of rebuild from there. So it of course would make no sense to import a whole lot of characters from another game because you'd have to remake everything. And of course, if you remake everything, then a lot less characters would be very likely. And I think a lot of fans would be okay with having, the regular roster from the first 64 game, a couple of melee characters, a couple of important brawl characters like Pit and Meta Knight, maybe Wario in there. In terms of lists, I feel like we could look to the future and see what other characters that we might be able to cut. There are people's favorites that will inevitably always be cut from the roster, so we're gonna cry regardless of that. But I feel like it's a really great idea to start thinking ahead of the Smash Bros. Franchise. What could the Smash Bros. Franchise bring? I've talked about this before on the channel, and those of you guys who love blocked content will probably know that I think that this would be a great new game mode to bring to the game, and that would be sort of an adventure-style game mode with a 3D kind of collectathon moveset. So you would be Mario, basically as in Mario Odyssey, and you just walk around a stage, and if you're Fox, you are Fox in that scenario, and you just run a lot faster. You don't have all those crazy tilt moves, but you do have your regular B moves that you can kind of use to traverse the stage. And of course, when you run into a character, into a battle, you transfer into this 2.5D Smash match that we've known from every single Smash game. But I think that would be a great experience in VR. You would have a very similar experience to that of Super Mario Odyssey in VR, and of course Breath of the Wild, which looks gorgeous in VR. Even before, fans have started testing with it, it looked awesome. And now that Nintendo is doing that Toy-Con thing with the VR, it could look even more awesome. So I feel like VR might not be coming to Super Smash Bros. Ultimate per se, because it would mean that they would have to make this entire new game mode that is centered around VR, and it's like a, shoot the targets game mode or collect some spirits in first-person view, and I don't think that Sakurai really wants to dive into that. Which is really fun is before Sakurai was asked to do Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, he was actually approached by, I think it was HTC, to create these awesome virtual reality kind of games. And Sakurai is all about that puzzle life. He loves creating puzzle games too, that kind of stuff. So I could really see him diving into VR head first and creating some crazy amazing kind of game modes in games within VR. So I don't think it's too far off. But in terms of Smash Bros. Ultimate, his head is just wrapped around creating these these fighter pass characters, new stages, new modes. You know, we're getting stage builder and stuff like that. So I would think that no, for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate right now, there's probably not a VR mode coming. There's probably not even VR support coming. But I feel if we are going to take Smash Bros. To a new generation and try out new game styles and new ways to play the game, then I really feel like we would benefit from having VR thought about from the beginning of the process of the game. So we would get really original new game styles. And guys, of course, remember, if you're not yet a member of the Blocked Content family yet, hit that subscribe button down below. Also to, of course, enter for the Piranha Plant giveaway. All the news and fun that you care about will be delivered on the daily to you. So thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that bell for the notifications, and I'll see you guys around the corner where there's always more Blocked Content. See ya.